And good evening to everyone to episode 2, season 3 of the Futsal Philippines Show. My name is Kevin Goko, and I am your host for this week. Apologies if Cher couldn't make it. She has a prior engagement. But nevertheless, I'm here to bring you insights on local developments of Philippine futsal, as well as global developments in the game. And last week, we recently launched or announced the launching of the High Five Women's Futsal League. And we talked about match day 1, and the league is progressing well. And now we're going to be talking about match day 2. So joining me tonight are two very special guests. We have coming back from last week, Coach Roy Moore, the head coach of Payatas FC. And we're very pleased to have him here as one of our analysts for the Futsal Philippines Show. So good evening, Roy.
Hey, good evening, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm good. So thank you for making it to this week's show. We're very glad to have you back, and we're looking forward to some of your insights. For those of you who don't know, Coach Roy Moore is an AFC Futsal Level 1 licensed coach. He's also a C licensed coach, and used to be a pundit for GMA Sports. Is that right, Coach Roy?
Yep, GMA, TV5 before that. It's a lot of good fun. Pleasure to be here with you.
Well, we're honored to bring you back out of retirement from your pundit career.
Pleasure to be here.
And joining me as well as our other analysts, and I think this person really needs no introduction. I'd like to welcome onto the show our technical director for futsal in the Philippines. He's also a FIFA futsal expert currently. And I'd like to welcome one of the top coaches in the game, the legendary Coach Vic Hermans.
Yes, happy to be in the show, Kevin and Roy, and also happy to talk about the second day from the league. I will tell later more, of course, how it was. Thank you already.
So thank you, Coach Vic. So guys, we are in the middle of launching the High Five Women's Futsal League. It was a very successful launch. We had some interesting developments from match day one, and also some really good games in match day two as well. And well, let's get straight to it. So let's show first to our viewers the results from match day from the first match day. So just to recap what happened, Payatas, Tuloy, and GKC Pagasuel Suzuri won their first matchups against University of Makati, Pangasinan, Tondo, and Dr. J Autoclave FC. And it was a very good start to the league. Payatas won their first game 11-0. Tuloy 10-1. GK blanked out Pangasinan United 4-0. And then, of course, we had the Makati derby between Azuri and the University of Makati, where Azuri came up on top 4-2. And it was a very interesting first day. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Roy, Coach Vic?
Yes, in the beginning I was thinking, okay, two big results, 11 and 10. And okay, then you're thinking maybe it is too strong for something. But what happens in the next, when we see already the second day, we will see that it changed already. And I was happy to see that. And I hope that the other teams get the line up what they showed in the second day.
How about yourself, Roy? What were your opinions on that first match day?
Yeah, the first match day, I think everyone's really just getting the feel of it. They're getting to see how the other teams are. And then, like Coach Vic says, in the second, everyone's able to adjust a lot more. So you know a bit more about what to expect. You know how the other teams are, and you know how you can adjust. So, yeah, we don't see any double-digit scores this time because people are able to prepare a lot more and to understand now what the level is so they can step up to that.
Now, Roy, you made a very interesting point in last week's show that a lot of the goals were scored on transition. Do you expect that to be the case as we progress in the league, or what are your expectations on how these teams will develop? And also, Coach Vic, you can also chime in on that.
Yeah, so from where we are, there's two main ways, and we'll get into this with the highlights, I think, later on when we're able to pull out exactly where the goals are coming from. Right now, the pivot, the striker, the forward is not being marked, so she's able to get away from the defenders, and she's open so often. But yes, absolutely, during the transitions, there's so much more space, and it's about getting back into shape, getting back into recovery. And I think teams are going to adjust to that now that they see that. They can point that out with the videos, but also with the fitness. For a lot of girls, they've not had many games, especially with futsal. For us, this is our first futsal league for a very long time for our girls. So they'll adjust with that, especially with the fitness, and then they can get back into position a lot faster.
Wow. And what I saw also is when we're looking what Roy said, international to developing a futsal. You see in football and in futsal a change. In the moment, not everybody goes. I saw one or two teams on the league now. They're defending from the own half. But the new futsal style is that we start pressing in front. And he mentioned a very good thing. The fitness of the players is very important for that. And I was happy to see that some teams already not waiting on the own half to consider some goals, but also start pressing. And I think this is a future for all the teams in the league on the moment that they must thinking, we must not only defending. Defending can start in front. It can be number 5, what I say always, my strikers number 5. They can start pressing already. And I saw now more than one team already they do that, and it is very interested for the developing from our league and from our teams. So I hope that the coaches go on with that. But okay, first, fitness is the most important in this.
Indeed, fitness is very important, Coach Vic, and I hope that we see the teams improve in that aspect as we progress in the league. Maybe a lot less transition goals. And before we get into the matches of match day 2, let's first get a commercial break from one of our So, from our first match day, we entered into our second week of action. And our first match saw two teams, Dr. J Autoclave FC versus Tondo FC, who opened their campaign with two defeats in match day one. So, they were looking to get back on track with their first points in the table. So, let's check out the highlights from that first game. Hold up. I'll just sort this out first.
What we do well for this game, actually, this one is better than the first game last week, because this one we hold the score for. Actually, it's 1-0 if you tally it. It's 3-2. So yeah, this one is better than the second match. I forgot. Actually, what I told to my players kanina, it's just that the fitness itself. Kasi individual skills, they have this individual skills. But pagdating sa fitness, dun kami natatalo because lack of fitness. Yeah, the fitness itself, we have to develop. Yeah, the league, as I mentioned last time, the league, it's very good. It's very highly competitive league because, as I mentioned, this one is all of the teams that participated in this league. It's very competitive, very exposed player already, except to my players. This is our exposure for my players. Yeah, I miss playing also. Actually, I miss playing futsal because I'm playing football at the sevens, but futsal, this is again my first playing after how many years. So it's very nice to be back in futsal.
For me, yung dedication po namin na makagol and yung culture po na gusto po naming ma-play sa loob po ng court. And for me po, magkaroon po kami ng mas magkaroon pa po kami ng patience para mas maganda po yung atake po namin sa next game. Gusto ko lang po bang i-shoutout yung Inspiraya players and yung buong Tondo Football Club. Thank you po.
Well, for us, yung players are now playing the culture of play ng Tondo FC. And we had an adjustment last training na yung kind of play namin is something that we want to share for the others then. And we want to show and showcase yung mga talents ng Tondo FC the way we want to see ng mga ibang teams din for the other football teams here. And I think the result is nakita naman, and yung mga players, they put it into their head na they're not only here to play but also to represent and show their skills, show our passion, show our culture of play. And I think the improvement is we need to more focus on the finishing so that yung build-up play, after the build-up play, mas maganda pa yung finishing namin in the long run. The league is getting better, so merong live stream so people can watch us, so our younger players can be inspired how these girls are playing, and these girls can be the role model for other people as well.
So that was a very good first match. Roy, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it was good to see both teams are improving in this one. As we saw with Coach Jen, she said Dr. J got better. Part of that is because she was playing. She's obviously a much more competent player herself, and she was able to get on the pitch and control some of the game. Tondo were a little bit inexperienced at first with the defending. So if you could put up the first picture, if we have the pictures sent in, lovely. So for the first goal, for example, you can clearly see like the two Tondo defenders are just crowding around the ball. They're ball watching and not marking the player. So it just leaves her completely free for the goal. Tondo scored soon afterwards. Angelica Dizon dribbled through everyone, so that was a bit more fortunate. But when you see the second picture here, it's the same thing. Lei Ikong, I think she had a good game. She controlled it for Tondo. She draws the defender in. She leaves Angelica free as well. She won the ball in that one. And again with the third picture, she again draws both defenders in this case, gives that space for Angelica, who's in a good position, and she's got the quality to play that through ball in for her. So while Angelica will get the plaudits, she scored a hat-trick after all. Lei, I think, was the deciding factor for this one. She was able to control it and give those chances to Angelica and create it for Tondo. They're a very young team, so they'll keep improving. But yeah, it was really nice to see both teams enjoy the games and play, and obviously come back from the heaviest scores from last week.
And Vic, your thoughts on that match?
You hear me now?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now, Coach Vic. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, we can't hear you, Coach Vic. Kevin, could you unmute yourself? That seemed to work before.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me? Yes? Okay, but I said the The first match they lost both, and the second match I was standing upstairs, and I saw directly that the team from Marijan start pressing. Okay, they cannot hold it for the whole game because also they have only 7 or 8 players, what I mentioned. And of course, she said in her interview, fitness is the most important, but I think also that you then need 14 players. That's the other thing. And the other thing was for me then, okay, when you have players enough, like 3 rounds, because when you have 14 players, you can make 3 teams from 4 and 2 goalkeepers. You can go on and you can pressing the whole time. That was one thing what I saw from that team. But you saw also with the inbring from Mary Jan in the second game, she's an older player. And maybe for our young girls, it's very interesting when you have somebody in your team who can coach. That was, for me, a plus for them. That Mary Jan was also playing, I'll be honest. That was it. And on the other hand, when I saw Tondo, then I see a girl like Dizon. Dizon is now in the project from what she said, Inspiraya. And I'm very happy that we see now already the benefits from them. And also in the Gawi Kalinka team, all the girls who train already 2 years in NU in Calamba, that they can play in this league. The only thing also for everybody is when they have somebody around them with a lot of experience, it will be much easier. And the only thing what I said to Dizon after the game, she made 3 goals against Dr. G there in that game. And that 1 goal she was celebrating. And I was wondering why she did not celebrate. She made 3 goals. And it's so lovely. And then in the interview, she started laughing. But I said to her, also enjoy when you score a goal. Let's see that you be happy. But the first game from the second round showed me already what Roy said, that they increase. They're talking about the first day and they want to do better. And maybe when we next time have the next league, that they can start earlier with training moments to do that earlier. Now in every game you will see the increase. But I was happy to see, of course, that game. And of course there was a winner, but maybe both deserve a point. But okay, that's it. Yes?
Yeah, Angelica is a fantastic finisher, Vic. I think Roy, she took her chances on goal, and I think she also scored the 1 goal of Tondo FC against Tuloy in the previous match day. And knowing her performance is also inspired Raya, she takes her chances. So definitely a player to watch. I definitely agree, Roy, that Lei Ikong is a very influential player. But this Tondo team is a squad to watch out for because they're very young, and they also trying to implement a certain playing style that I think is very entertaining, more possession based. The 4-0 formation is what they're trying, Vic. But I think it's a team to watch out for. So looking forward to their next match, and for the second game of match day 2, we have between 2 preseason favorites, and this is Azuri SC and Payatas FC, who Roy I'm sure is very familiar with, and they're looking to build on their opening day wins to secure their position at the top of the table. So let's check out highlights from that second match.
I think the first problem we encountered was we had hard time building our play. That's why it took us like until the last 7 minutes to gain all the 3 goals. But I guess we need to work on more communication and more more passings. And our finishing was a bit shaky as well. But I think they did a good job. More communication. That's I think the key to the passes, the wrong passes, the bad passes, everything. They need more communication. The league is very nice actually. It's good experience for our players since they get to compete against strong players as well. It's like a learning ground for them.
Yes po, syempre yung maganda po dun sa amin is binigay po lang talaga namin yung best, yung intensity namin, and then pinagandaan po namin as a team, especially then syempre kay Coach Roy, and thank you for for him na nagbibigay ng ano sa amin time for that po. Yan, and the next game, yeah, syempre po, continue po kami sa pag-ready sa kada team, and hindi po namin alam kung sino yung mga kalaban namin, and then, yun, good luck po sa amin.
It was a very good game, wasn't it? It was very intense. Both teams really giving their best, really fighting the entire 40 minutes. So if you watch the highlights, if you watch the full game, that's a great exhibition of what futsal is about. All out action for 40 minutes. Goals, tackles, last minute saves, last second saves. That had everything. The first thing we need to do better is get the fitness up. We controlled the first half. We were so much better in the first half. And then again, as the fitness dropped, that allowed Azuri to get back into the game. We need to round out some of the teams and some of the positioning because we have to adjust to each team's tactics. Iba naman yung tactics ng Azuri kasi sa syempre yung Dr. J last week or yung ibang teams. So we have to adjust faster to that. But if we do that, we'll keep improving week on week, and that's what we want to see. So yeah, it's great again to see like everyone improve. Like last week we played Dr. J. They've improved. We watched their game and see how they've improved. They see their adjustments and see how they're changing. We get to see every week. Everyone gets to see how they can develop and then train again during the week to make that improvement. So that gives us that platform to train, to watch the game back, and to improve every week.
So definitely an intense match. Coach Vic, your thoughts on that wonderful clash?
Yeah, you can hear me now, Roy. You can hear me. You did already the after interview for your own game, and I hear before where you're talking about transitions, etc. And when I see also the highlights, the 3-1 came from a transition when you were leading 3-0, and they made 3-1, and it was the same for the third goal also when you're leading 4-2. And this fitness is important, but also in my opinion then when you're leading so far to control the game. And when you see the transitions happens while you lose the ball and the other team can make faster transition. Because when you have the system where we're training and you know what I'm doing normally in my system, always 2 players behind the ball, always. And when you see that goal, there's only 1 player behind the ball, and then it's easy to go or score a goal. That's it. But for me, on tribune, of course, what you said, it was a very nice game to see. And on the end, I was thinking, oh, they're going to make also 4-4. But the most important for me is what the coach from Azuri said. The league is now going on, a lot of good players. And also after 2 match days, I'm already have a view of so many players. Last year, I had a pool. And after this competition, I have another pool, a new pool for the 4-nation tournament. And I'd be happy to see more players have a chance to come in this team. And it will not so easy for me to select on the end, but it's up to the girls. And maybe Marie-Jeanne said fitness, you say fitness. That's also a criteria for me. Because playing in this league, show that you are fit, you have your discipline. Later on, when we talk with the group together, that's the most important. But for me, as neutral watcher upstairs, was a great game to see. I'm happy with that games, and I hope it goes continue like that.
Roy, you wanted to add anything to your interview?
Yeah, it was a really good game. As I'm not a neutral, it was a bit of a heart attack in the second half. But yeah, we controlled the first half quite well. If you bring up the first picture, what we always like to see with our teams is that you always have at least two options. We should have three options ideally, but there's always at least two. So this was for the first goal. It's a bit more. We have the skill to be able to do it on small, on a compact level, but also the wide level, as we'll see with the next goal. But this was really good because Agot on the left wing, she makes the move, she makes a run around her defender, so she's creating the space there. Nicole on the right wing, she's pinned her defender, so she can play that 1-2 with Thea, and we trust Thea and Ronaldin, they're good enough to make those wall passes, to go past their men and to create that overload. So we create that 3 versus 2 using this way. If we go to the second picture, this was for the second goal. And again, you're looking at Thea picks up the ball. Like Coach Vic says, a lot of teams defend in their half or too deep. So by the time Thea receives the ball from our goalkeeper, it's too late already for their winger to press. Thea's got Agot on the left wing, or she's got AJ on the right. So she's got both solid options there. She plays it out to Agot. Agot beats her man, and that creates the space for AJ in the middle. So it's always trying to shift across their players. But as was said, if you show the third picture, Missouri definitely improved in the second half. And at halftime, we're really trying to tell the girls, just kill the game, one more goal, and we'll kill the game. We really wanted to finish that off, and then that allows much more. This one was, again, as Coach Vic mentioned, this is on the transition. We do get back into position, so Ronaldin was slowing down the attacker. But this is where we need a bit more experience in these kind of moments. So Thea, who's the one circled here, she should either be blocking the shot, or in my opinion, she should be blocking the pass, ready to stop that pass, because that pass is going to be much harder to save for our goalkeeper. And if she does that, it allows Jasmine to stay in the goal more so that Jazz can save the shot. So they're the very little tweaks that we want to look at with that. But overall, of course, we have to be happy that Missouri have 6 national team players. I think in the last one, I think you told me that it was 6 players in the last pool. They're a good squad from players from all over the country in many ways, and so it's nice to be able to challenge ourselves against these kinds of teams. Obviously, what we want to see is these adjustments. We can watch our game, analyze it, and say, "Hey, you did really well here. These are improvements for next week." So when we play GK tomorrow, we should be better.
If you play them tomorrow, I hope you're not better. But anyways, so
Kevin obviously went with GK a lot, so this is a nice friendly rivalry, and we may have a little bit of a bet on for a TikTok dance for the loser.
Yeah. So Roy and I, we have a wager that the loser of tomorrow's GK Payatas match will do a TikTok dance video for all of you guys. So stay tuned for that. We'll feature that on the Futsal Philippines Show. We will, Roy. So. Okay. So anyways, speaking of GK, that brings us to our third match of match day 2. And GK just came off a win against Pangasinan United. They won 4-0 in their opening match. And they were taking on University of Makati to see if they can solidify their position at the top of the table. So let's take a look at that third match between GK and University of Makati.
game, medyo kinulang lang sa sipag yung mga bata eh. So, well, as we can see kanina na naging yung percentage is mas mataas yung chance namin. But then, yun nga yung sinasabi ko sa mga player kanina, split of seconds pwedeng maraming magbago. At the same time, kung sisipagan nila, kung mas gagalingan pa nila, mas makukuha namin yung full momentum para maging success yung yung game namin. Kasi kaya namin but in the end, siguro talagang binigay na nila yung best nila, napagod na rin. So, yun, hanggang doon na lang yung nila for So, by the next training, alam na namin kung ano yung mga pwede namin baguhin at gagawin sa team. For the next game, sorry. The league is good. Maganda, very professional, mataas yung level. At least ito nga yung mas malaki yung chance nating makita ng mga potential athletes, player na someday magre-represent ng bansa natin when it comes to futsal.
First of all, I'm really nervous talaga kasi I didn't know about UMAC. I haven't seen their playing. I haven't seen their game. I'm grateful na hindi ako naging first five kanina kasi I really want to watch muna yung play nila, how they play. And then, I tell to myself na yung naka-goal sila ng 1-0 kami, uminig yung body ko na parang, no, I want to goal. Gusto namin bumawi, gusto kong makabawi. And then, for my team, I think, ginawa namin lahat. Binigay namin yung best namin, nilabas namin yung spirit namin and to fight for the team. Yeah. And thank you very much po sa gift ng Karamia. I really appreciate it and I'm really excited to eat that. Yay!
I think we did well. We did well defensively. We hold the UMAC, a strong team against us, like very strong collegiate team. Well, ours are like high school students. But I think the plan that we have, like to hold them in front, we did it really well. But like we had some lapses at the very end. That's why they scored late in the first half. And yeah, I think that's it in our game. It is very good. The league is, as I said last week, it's really where you hone all the talents here in Metro Manila, basically, because there's also players from the provinces that playing here. For example, in my team, there are players from Cebu, Cagayan de Oro, and it's a very good league for all the girls, and it will help us to promote futsal and have a better competition on futsal stage.
So that was an intense third game, pretty much even. Roy, your thoughts on that matchup between GK and University of Makati?
Yeah, so this was a good game overall. Like you said, GK coming off the first win. UMAC lost to Azuri, but 4-2. Azuri a strong team, so it was good to see how everyone's matching up against each other. Actually, overall, we watched the first half, and then I watched it live, and then I watched the video for the second half. And I thought overall GK were the better team, just about. You have to say, and I'm sure Coach Chester would say there was a bit of foul. There were 2 fouls, I think, in the build-up to UMAC's goal. So that's hopefully something the referees can look back on and get the feedback on and improve on. If you show the first
Roy, sorry to interrupt. We already had those fouls reviewed. The foul on Dada is actually legit, and the explanation there was it was shoulder to shoulder contact. So yeah, okay. I think the referees reviewed that foul.
Might be
I asked them to review it.
on that one. But could you show the first picture? Yeah, definitely both teams can learn from this. And I think this is where we can look at GK and say, overall, they're a bit like Tondo. They're obviously a community team like Tondo is, and they're about maybe 2 or 3 years ahead of Tondo with where they're at. But you can see a little bit of the experience, like in these moments, just having the vision to pick out that pass in this moment rather than shoot, but she shoots instead. there. If you look at the second picture, this is a good example of quite a few of the ones where you look at UMAC and you're looking at how can you exploit a team like that, and the defender on the right side there, she really has to be blocking that pass or marking the player at the back. And so there's a lot of chances like this where GK were creating the chances but they didn't score them. So this one was a good pass through, and she tried to flick it into the goal, but it went wide. So GK created more chances, but then UMAC created the better chances on the counter attack in the transition. So for their goal, they were able to create the 3v1 chance. If you go to the third picture, so UMAC had that success in the transition. So they didn't score this one, but they created these chances where they overloaded the players. Again, the inexperience from the defenders, they're crowding around the ball rather than marking the player and getting into the right space. So UMAC managed to overload certain sides on that transition, so that they had, if I remember right, it was 2 really good chances where they passed across, and it was an open goal. They beat the goalkeeper, but they beat the defender, and they shot wide. So there were the really good chances that UMAC created, but again, that GK, I think, created a lot more chances and overall edged it. On another day, this could have been 4-4. So it was another really good, exciting game for everyone.
Thanks, Roy. Excellent analysis. Coach Vic, your opinion on this match?
Yeah, I saw now, of course, for the first time also the pictures from Roy, what we spoke about. I put the note already from this game that both teams, also Kalinka, can score much more goals from the counter, from the transition, when they know where are the other players. I tell the players every time, when you go in the back from somebody, scream that you're coming, then they have an opportunity. And sometimes I have the feeling that they don't know that somebody is free on the other side. And that was in the finishing. They can do also, both teams in that game, they can make 3-4 goals more. But that is something, of course, what you learn by pictures, what Roy showed now, also from the other side. And I was again happy that in Gawa Kalinka, 5 girls from NU Kalamba are playing. They're 17 years old, 18 years old. Because that means for me, the future is there for them. And I was happy to see that. And of course, when I be there in Kalamba with the girls, I talked about these situations. Also, when you see the interview with Da, when she's talking about how glad she is, etc., these girls are open to learn. And we gave them the chance on training also to for finishing like that. And there was very nice pictures what you show, Roy, when they said upstairs, oh, they don't see who's coming, and it is so easy to pay the blade to the right or left instead of shooting like that. But that's the learning phase, and that's a job for us, for the coaches, to show that to the girls, and hopefully in training sessions that they can do more of that. But okay, the game was still the end, of course, very exciting because the score it was still 1-1, and you don't know who gonna make the winning goal. But they deserve each 1 point. But for me, what Roy said in the beginning, Gavi Kalendia was playing a more system. I saw more back, but that's the coach Chester who train also a lot of times with them in Kalamba. That is what you see back. Because when you put the time in the development for the players, you find it back for sure. Take some time, but it will come.
Thanks, Coach Vic. Coach Vic, do you think they were rushing?
Yes, yes, they were rushing. Yes, I say always when we have a transition, you go 120% full speed, and on the other half you go back to 80%. There you must look in what they cannot catch you anymore when you be away 3-4 meters. But in the other half, you must look in how you can play. Maybe 1 against 1, or 2 against 1, or 3 against 2. All these trainings moments you do on your training, and that's training. Yeah, but they were rushing, but that's also the age, I think.
Yeah, but I remember, Coach Vic, when you first came here, you told me that there's a Filipino style, right?
Yeah.
And the Filipino style of futsal is, I think, 120% all the time.
All the time. And still, I hope that a lot of coaches also look into this program. Still, I don't know that when we have a kick in, that everybody go back to the goal and that they're going to shoot on goal with a kick in. You cannot score from a kick in. You can build from something where you lose the ball after 1 shot, and it is a transition. And that is something what I say also. And when I came in the first time, we go to the school in UAMP to make videos. in Philippines, all the kids shooting directly. From the kickoff, they're shooting directly on goal. I say international, you cannot score. Here we have a rule, I saw last Sunday in Venezuela also, that they score from a kickoff. International is not possible. But okay, that was one rule. But from a kick-in, they cannot score. Just learn them to play and not shooting on goal.
Coach Vic, let me ask you, why do you think that's the case, that so many teams just want to shoot on goal here in the Philippines?
No, I think they exactly, in my opinion, the futsal game. The futsal game is a brand, what you said in the intro, and we see every time it is an upcoming sport. In Europe, it's full sport. In Asia, we have 6 countries, and we have not enough. Because I hope with Philippines that we can go in there. But we need more people like these coaches now who come in touch with futsal and want to learn and to bring it over to the kids, to the boys, to the girls, and then it will be bigger and bigger. And what we did already 3 years ago to go to the PE teachers on school, learn them the futsal game. And one of the things was what I said already in the beginning: don't shoot directly from a kick-off or from a kick. Learn them to play. Learn them also when your goalkeeper has the ball. Don't throw the ball long away. That isn't there's in Philippines a lot. But when the goalkeeper has the ball, put him to left or right and learn to come out that pressure. That means that you have on the other side a lot of space to come in. But when you throw the ball long every time to number 5 in front, most of the time you're losing the ball. And sometimes I'm thinking, why you put the ball there? And okay, but that's also my job, of course, to bring that in courses over to the coaches. Yes, but okay, it's better and better. And what we said already, some people here on the show, the league shows us that this league it's good, and the futsal name goes around to go better and better. Because let's say this is a really good start for us.
Roy, do you think we see a lot of shooting in futsal games and a lot of throwing to the number 5s from the goalkeeper because we're so used to playing on basketball courts? I think that might be my theory of why we see this all the time.
Yeah, I think it's a good point because the basketball courts are a lot smaller. So all you need is one little deflection and the goal counts. So I think part of the reason that in the Philippines, a lot of people are shooting from the kickoff or from the kick-ins is because there's a lot of inexperienced teams. There's a very different level of teams. So if the goalkeeper tries to save it and it goes in, it counts as a goal. It counts as the goal from really an own goal from the goalkeeper. So they keep doing it because they have some success doing that. The difference is, like Coach Vic says, is as you go up in quality, as soon as you improve, it doesn't work anymore. So if you try to keep doing that, as soon as you have a step up in quality, like we see with the teams here, it just doesn't work. And so you get found out very quickly as you step up in that one. I think there's a good example. We're going to move to Pangasinan's team now. And as soon as you start seeing the goalkeepers start to improve, you can't do that. So you have to be much better. And I was impressed with Pangasinan's goalkeeper. So maybe it's the segue to their highlights. And as you see like the level improve, you have to improve. And so we'll see, of course, like Tuloy's level is a big step up for everyone else as well. And you get to see it doesn't work if you try to do it at that level.
So that, as Roy said, that's a perfect segue to our last match of match day 2, which is between Tuloy FC and Pangasinan United. So let's check out the highlights from that match.
Sa performance namin this time, medyo hindi maganda and medyo maghahabol pa rin po kami sa training kasi yung mga bata bumibigay pa rin within a few minutes of period. Talagang makikita mong bumibigay sila. And doon naman sa nakalaro namin, well, given na ang tuloy, since nung nasa Alliance pa lang kami talaga, maganda na yung play nila. So, I think sa result namin sa game naman, kahit papano, malaki nga yung score, pero hindi ganun na kapangit yung binigay ng mga bata. And yun, babalikan ko, given sa tuloy na in-expect namin na ganito yung magiging result. Pero syempre, kahit paano ilalaban namin yun. So, sa next game siguro, still adjustment pa rin sa team kasi honestly, wala kaming futsal court na ganito, na standard sa amin. So, I think kailangan naming mag-search kung paano namin ma-provide sa kanila yung especially length and width. So, hindi man siguro sa futsal court, siguro I think kailangan naming humanap ng lugar na kung saan namin pwede lang makuha yung length and width ng game. Yung league, medyo maganda yung pakita nila ngayon kasi yung adjustment ng buong team, nakita namin sa scoring.
Okay, apologies for those technical difficulties. Trying to get everybody back on the stream. Hey guys, sorry about that. So Vic or Roy, your thoughts about that last match between Tuloy and Pangasinan, maybe some positives that you see from Pangasinan, because there are definitely some positives that you can see from their play the first two match days.
Do you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, that's good. Now, what you see, two teams, of course. Tuloy play a long time together. They play a long time on football field. They play everywhere, and they're training also in that hall. And what Floyd said, while I was thinking in the Tagalog, he said something about the court, that a basketball court normally they're playing or something like that. And this is a big court, and you see that Tuloy used the court already a long time. And when you see also to some goals, they're looking always for the ball in the deep way, not in the wide, but always deep. Somebody go around, and always they're coming. Always some people coming in the middle. And the fourth goal was the nice, for me, nice one. When they start pressing the team, you lose the ball on the half. They were thinking directly, not shooting, only passing and make a goal. That's the strength of the Toroi girls, of course, because they're along together. And what I said in COVID time, that time, and this team, also what Roy, the other team, Roy, this was also 7 players from national team, 6-7 players. Jenny was not there. And but I saw that now also last time training, they have also newcomers, and I think this is an example for everyone, of course, how we can develop. They have coaches from there, they have everything, but that's not for everybody the same. Yeah? But most important is for the futsal game for them. When you play against them, they use the whole pitch. They play like in football, many passes between the players around, and in goal, they're not selfish. They're always looking that sometimes when news coming, pass to another one, and she will score. That's the thing. And yeah, also from the back, we will see how the developing goes in this competition. And now next Saturday, tomorrow, of course, I don't know the game tomorrow what they have, but okay, we will see. I think all the other teams will also fight against them, and I hope they can make it very difficult for Toulouse to score again. Now the team of Floyd, what Kevin said already, I see also some things very positive in that team. Also the position where he is working, you see the developing in that. I'm not afraid that that is only for 1 week. That area, I believe it can be in the future a part of themselves, that we can create a league also for them, that they not necessary is that they must drive so far. Don't forget, they're coming from far. They are here in the morning, they are there, 6:30, 5:30, 6:30, play 2 o'clock afternoon, and they go back. I think we must have many respect for the coach and team from that area to come to Toulouse to play. And I hope next time that we can play a little shorter for them, or that I can, together with the coaches or the people there, create a competition there. And maybe that we have now 6 teams upstairs and 6 teams downstairs, and on the end we can play finals. But again, in the team from Floyd, for me also a couple of positive girls to watch in upcoming matches, and you never know how it goes. But I think this against Toulouse, this score is only 1. And Toulouse is of course a strong team.
Definitely, Coach Vic. Lots of positives with Pangasinan, and of course Toulouse play. I can already see your influence on them with the goalkeeper coming out and playing and joining, trying to create numerical advantages. Roy, your thoughts on that last match?
Yeah, of course, Toulouse were dominant again. It was 10-1 last week. It's 6-0 this week, so they now go top of the table on goal difference. So definitely Toulouse are the team to beat in the league. Toulouse, in my opinion, they've not had like a single standout player who's like, wow, that's such a special player. It's more like it's a very solid team overall. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone knows where they're going, and they're trying to create space. That said, they're beatable. So if we show the first picture, we can see the Toulouse pivot here. She gets in there, and this is just like inexperience from Pangasinan. Like we said before with GK and UMAC, they've just left her completely free. Toulouse are good enough to make that through pass, and she's just free on goal. They're good enough to make that pass, but Pangasinan give them that space to do it. Looking at the second picture, I think this is the 4th goal. You see a very interesting line of pressure from Toulouse. It's almost like we're going to get these spaces, and they're trying to force the opposition. Hey, if you're good enough to pass through us, good for you. If that pass goes through to the centre midfielder there, and she turns and goes, now Pangasinan have 3 versus 1. But Toulouse know at this point that they're good enough, they're strong enough, they're better, and they can push up higher, as was asked by Coach Vic earlier. But you've got to ask, are they going to be able to do that against everyone? In the third picture, we see that problem again from the first goal. The pivot, she just makes a small run. She gets in behind the defenders. The defenders don't know where she is, and Toulouse will make that pass 9 times out of 10, and she'll score from there quite a few times. So all in all, it's not as big a gap as you might think when you look at these kind of things. It's small adjustments to get the defenders in the right positions, watching the right people, and it's just coaching and coaching and coaching. Well, Coach Floyd talks about, yes, the futsal court is one aspect. It's much bigger when we get to these kind of levels. It's really about getting the quality training over and over and getting these things going so you can get the level of the players up and up and up. All that said, I was impressed with that goalkeeper. If it wasn't for the goalkeeper, it probably would have been 12-0 instead of 6-0. She made many saves. She stopped a lot of the chances from Toulouse. She had the right futsal technique with the blocks she was making. She can improve a little bit on the passing, the positioning, at times. But she kept Pangasinan in the game. So every week, as long as we're seeing these improvements from the outfielders with the quality of their passes, the quality of their technique, and being in the right position, as long as you see that, their keeper is going to help keep them in games to give their outfielders a chance. I think there's Toulouse goalkeeper, our goalkeeper Jasmine, and Pangasinan's goalkeeper. So far, they've been like the top 3 goalkeepers. And like we said before, it makes such a difference because now teams can't get easy goals just from kick-ins on the corner, or from kick-ins, from kick-off, or from any of these things. A good goalkeeper makes such a difference, and she was for me the standout player from Pangasinan.
Fantastic, and she also impressed me as well. I think it makes sense because her coach, Coach Floyd, is actually a futsal goalkeeping coach. So I think so. Shout out to Coach Floyd. And speaking of Coach Floyd, we'll actually hear from him later on in the show about a little bit about Pangasinan United. But overall, it was a good match day two. So I'd like to show a summary of the results from that match. Just to recap, the first game, Tondo FC edged out Dr. J Auto Club. FC, very close and evenly matched game. We saw a hat trick from Angelica Dizon. And then on the second match, we saw a top of the table clash between Azuri and Payatas. It was also back and forth. Payatas got the upper hand, went up 3-0, but then ended up edging Azuri, who made a late charge 4-3. And then in the third match, we saw GK Sipag versus University of Makati. University of Makati is one of the strongest teams in the WNCAA. They drew 1-1. Very good match. You had a lot of talents in GK. A lot of them are in high school, going up against a university team. And then the last match, as we just discussed, we saw Tuloy FC exert their dominance and experience, I would say, edging Pangasinan United 6-0, but that doesn't mean that Pangasinan United did not play well. We had some standout performances from them, especially their goalkeeper. So looking at the table after match day two, we see Tuloy FC top of the table with 6 points. They're actually tied with Payatas, but they edge Payatas in terms of goal difference, a 3 goal difference. GK Sipag with their draw ends up third with 4 points, followed by Azuri. Tondo finally added points after getting none in their first match day. University of Makati remained with the same number of points as they did in match day one. And Pangasinan United and Dr. J Auto Club FC round up the table with 0 points, and hopefully they can add some on match day three. So looking forward to match day three. This is kicking off tomorrow. These are our matchups. University of Makati versus Tuloy FC in the 10 o'clock match, followed by Payatas and GK Sipag. Please stay tuned to that because you'll get to see if either myself or Roy will do a TikTok video, depending on who wins that match. And then, of course, we have in the afternoon schedule, Dr. J Auto Club FC versus Azuri, followed by the 2:15 kickoff between Pangasinan United and Tondo. Vic, Roy, your thoughts on these upcoming matches for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think the 10 o'clock, you see then Makati against Tuloy, that will be a very good start. But then I hope when that is a good game, I hope also for the other teams. But I'm wondering for that game, of course, for the first. And then we will see Roy's game again. I expecting that Roy is not doing a TikTok tomorrow. I think somebody else. But we will see. I'm watching for that. I'm looking out for that. I don't think so. But okay, we will see what happens in that game. But I think it's going more to Roy's team, I think. But okay. On the other hand, in the other team, it's 5 girls from my NU Calamba. So I must be quiet about that. But maybe I give them a push now. We will see. And the other teams you will see already. I hope that Floyd, of course, and Dr. G take tomorrow also some good benefits. Not that I don't want that the other teams are losing, but after tomorrow we have already, in my opinion, first shifting in the ranking. We will see if Roy and Tuloy going on come on 9 points, and Azuri and Humak will follow. I think it will be even. It will be not so easy as last year. For Tuloy, I'm thinking also it will be not so easy. And now, after 2 rounds, I saw the team and I see the other teams. They will, for sure, they will lose 1 or 2 games also. No problem. But we will see tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow evening we know enough. I'm watching. I'm looking forward to see one of you dancing.
Okay, so Pressure. I think I might be getting the wrong end of the bargain, but anyways, we're looking forward, Roy. The good luck on match day 3. But before we recap or end the recap of match day 2, let's summarize the Karamia girls of the game. So if you guys have not noticed, each match day, the outstanding player of each match is awarded the girl of the game by Karamia. So let's look at the recap for the Karamia girls of the game. For our first match, it was Angelica Dizon who scored a hat trick to be able to bag the 3 points for Tondo FC. Sorry. And then in the second match, we have Althea, the Rebusura, who really led the line and also played from the back as well in the build-up, edging out her contributions. Of course, the whole team contributed to this, but she was a major part of Payatas FC edging Azuri. For our third match, our Karamia girl of the game is Erisa Rivas for being able to level the score off of a penalty kick to tie the game 1-1. So they were able to salvage a draw because of Dadai's second half goal. And our fourth Karamia girl of the game is, of course, the influential Lani Ortilio. Good to see her back, Coach Vic. I know she was injured for more than a year with an ACL, and it's good to see her playing futsal. So those are the summary of the Karamia girls of the game. So we've reached the portion where we will hear a little bit from our guest from Pangasinan United FC. We're very honored to have Coach Floyd on the show to be able to discuss with us some of the updates and developments going on with his club. But before we hear from him, let's have a commercial break. Okay, so it's my pleasure to welcome onto the show Coach Floyd, the manager, head coach, and overall go-to guy for Pangasinan United FC. So, Coach Floyd, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Coach Vic. Good evening, Coach Kevin, and Coach Roy. Good evening.
Yeah, Coach, we're so glad that you can make it because I know that you have to leave in a few hours to be able to come from Pangasinan over to Metro Manila, no? So hats off to all the efforts that you make there to join the league. Coach Floyd, I just wanted to ask, can you give us a little bit of background on Pangasinan United FC? Paano kayo nag-start, nagsimula, and yung journey mo sa futsal? No? Anong storya doon?
Coach, nag-start kami na i-put up yung club. Kasi hiwa-hiwalay kami. Gusto lang namin maglaro. Inside the Pangasinan. And then, nung nag-gather namin yung mga alumni namin, yung mga kabatch namin, and yung mga natitira pa na may puso pa, and gusto pang maglaro, ginather namin siya. Then yun, nung na-put up po namin yung club, ganito naman na po, nagtuloy-tuloy na po.
Thank you, Coach Floyd. And Coach, bakit futsal?
Coach, to be honest, hindi naman sa pero lumilit na po kasi yung portion namin sa football. And nagkaroon kami ng thrill kasi na parang mas mabilis yung game, mas mabilis mag-isip. Kumbaga fast thinking ang kailangan eh. Kumbaga mas may thrill. Sa football kasi medyo may delay yung pag-iisip mo eh. Kaya mong paikutin yung bola. Pero sa futsal, bawal ma-delay. Onting delay, they went to scoring.
So ito bang Coach Floyd ng first campaign mo as a club in a league type format? Itong High Five Women's Futsal League?
Coach, sa sa higher level po ng futsal, ano? Yes po. It was our first time. Meron kasi sa Pangasinan yung PNG, yun yung pinaka first time namin. Pero parang ano lang siya, 3 days. 3 days to 5 days lang. Tapos onti lang kami, siguro 4 teams. Yun yung pinaka first time namin sa Philippine National Games. Then, yun po, doon kami nag-start na parang pag-aralan din yung futsal. So, pag itong higher league, ito po first time namin sa liga talaga.
So Coach Floyd, hats off to all the effort that you make. No, can you explain to the viewers out there kung ano bang preparation mo, na the travel time to be able to come, how many hours drive to Manila, just how does that go? Can you explain all the sacrifices that you make to join this league?
Actually, coach, nainganyo talaga kami kasi yun nga first time, and we need to to go outside our comfort zone kasi hindi kami ma-develop talaga, coach, if we stay here, especially nung binanggit na nila sa sizes, standard, time, standard, all of it standard futsal, ibang-iba kasi. And sa akin, nakikita ko na yung game, and since nung nakita ko yung sa may WNCA, yung ibang laro, especially yung sa national team natin, para bang na-boost kami na puntahan ito. Sabi ko, kaya ng mga bata eh. I think exposure lang. Yes, siguro this time, this year, this league, hindi siya mangingibabaw, pero malaking impact po talaga sa mga players. So, sa preparation naman namin, coach, before mag-start to, every Saturday, tumatawag kami sa mga bata, and they travel from one point, from their home to our training ground. Siguro 2 hours yung iba, 1.5 hours yung iba.
2 hours?
Yes, coach. Malaki po kasi ang Pangasinan, coach. Meron pong 3 hours pa nga eh. So, yun. And then, from there, meron kaming ibang clubs na tumutulong sa amin, like sa SWAL. Kasi yun na lang yung medyo kaya yung width. Especially nung nakita ko yung size. Pero yung length talaga, negative kami sa length. As in, para siyang half court lang. Kaya nung first game namin na nagulat talaga yung mga bata. So sabi, ano na po yan, expect ko na po yun. So from there, uwi sila ng Sunday. Kasi yung iba, siyempre iba graduate na. Then meron kami kasing mga high school din eh. Kumbaga minixture namin yung team na this event is magpre-prepare kami dun sa mga may skillful pa na kaya pa. I-gather namin sila. And siyempre yung gustong maglaro talaga. Ayun. Then kumuha rin kami ng mga bata for future. Bawa next year magkaroon ulit. Hindi natin alam, baka bigla tayong may makakita nung ginagawa namin, mag-effort din or matulungan kami. So doon sa part na yun, coach, medyo mabigat sa amin, pero still panalo kami doon eh. Doon pa lang panalo na kami sa experience, sa lahat, sa development, and syempre exposure ng mga bata, especially yung mga pinakabata nung susunod sa mga ate nila. Then, sa travel naman, parang ngayon, coach, naka-prepare kami. 9 p.m. ang call time namin dun sa isang town. Then we will travel again sa another town para pick up yung ibang players. Then sa third town namin, sa may Urdaneta, dun kami mag-exit sa may Tipilex. Diretso na kami dyan sa may Alabang. So, ganun po yung sitwasyon namin na every Friday, alis kami ng 9 or 10 p.m. Then, sa daan na kami nagpapahinga kasi yung iba napapagod din pag halimbawa nakaupo lang. So kahit papano, maka-adjust kami dyan sa may Alabang, maka-straight yung body nila, makapagpahinga kahit 5 hours. Malaking bagay na po kasi sa mga players. Kasi naglaro din ako, so alam ko yung hirap ng players na bibiyahe tas on the spot game kaagad. Hindi po pwede yun eh. May puyat pa po kasi, tas pagod din nila sa daily school and work. So, yun po yung medyo mabigat sa part namin sa team. Pero still, hindi siya hindrance eh. Nakikita ko naman sa mga mukha ng bata, yes, napapagod. Pero pag uwi namin, masaya sila. Pag uwi, may kikwento sila sa mga kanya-kanya nilang groups, plays, syempre sa parents. So, doon, isa yon sa nagpapalakas sa amin. Yung para bang na i-share nila yung experience nila Manila going down here. So, yun yung coach.
Grabe, no? Hats off. I mean, for you guys to commit to this league fully, given the distances, and as I understand it, your players are commuting to your pickup points 2 hours away from your town. So the travel time from 9, 10 p.m. every Friday going to Alabang does not include the travel time of some of your players. Meron kang player taga Ilocos, no?
Yes, coach. Gaya nung nasabi niyo sa akin, kung kaya kong i-cater ang Ilocos part. So honestly, nagyaya ako. May mga pinima akong coaches, if kaya nila. So from Central Luzon going north, nag-try ako pong sa kanila, mag-invite. Kaso yung travel time and syempre expenses din po. Yun yung iniisip po talaga. So malakas lang kasi loob namin. Hindi ko rin po alam bakit bigla kaming parang tara, sama tayo. Tapos nagdesisyon yung mga coaches dito na sige, sabi nila. So, yun. Then, nung na-turn down po kami doon sa invitation, kasi iniikot ko na po yung North. As in, naikot ko na itong North. From Football for Humanity po kasi naikot ko siya. Nakita ko yung ibang players. Then, active din po ako sa pag-ikot, pag regional athletic meet po. So, squad, umiikot din po ako. So, nakikita ko yung mga players. So, pag may potential, if gusto mo, yayayain kita. So, pinaalam ko naman sa club namin yon, and gusto rin nung club na makatulong. Kumbaga, yung bata kung gusto, bakit hindi mo pagbigyan, di ba? So, hinayaan namin na pumasok sila. And syempre, pinaalam namin sa parents yon. Kasi number one na tutulong sa amin, parents. So, pumayag naman yung magulang and nangako rin naman kami. From travel niya, from doon sa place nila, going here, kami nang bahala doon sa bata, from Pangasinan, going Alabang naman. So, sa amin siya nag-i-stay din minsan. So, sayang nga wala siya bukas kasi nagkasakit po kaninang madaling araw, nilagnat daw. So, hindi makakasama yung taga Ilocos Norte. Pero yung Ilocos Sur, makakasama naman po siya.
But the mere fact you're getting players from that far, I mean, hats off talaga, no? Parang deserving kayo for special trophy or recognition for doing this, no? Roy, Coach Vic, do you have any questions that you would like to ask Coach Floyd?
Yes. Has he also the feeling, Floyd, that it is worth to do all this to come in the league? You understand what it means? Is it worth for you to come in the league for the developing for the team? Is it a benefit for you is 100%? Or are there some things that you say, no, it is too far for next time? Or you say, no, this league is very interested to develop my players?
Coach, for me, it's not for only the players. It's development for the futsal here in our province. Not only on us, not only on coaches, players, and officiating. We just love the game. So we are doing this just for the game and to help also the Philippine futsal.
Okay. And my second question is, we were discussing here when we saw your game that you have a very good goalkeeper, but Roy said, or Coach Kevin said, that comes because Floyd was also a goalkeeper. She has the talent from you, or she did it on her own?
Coach, I hold her, or I trained her last Alliance, just for that Alliance, but one of my coach, which is Coach Dudes, our assistant coach, that his player. He trained that when they are in high school, but still we are helping each other. So being a goalkeeper, I must share my knowledge of being a goalkeeper.
That's good. And the other question, the last one for me, when you're traveling, you're passing also Roy Moore, where he is working, or it's far from you?
Where is Coach Roy Moore, coach, working?
Where Roy? Is that on your line to come to Alabang?
Siguro kasi nasa SLEX din kami, so maybe there's some way that you pass us along the way. But it's further out the way. We're based in Payatas in Quezon City, at the far end of Quezon City.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we're looking for a place to stay, Roy.
Okay, gets na. Okay, gets na yung dahilan ng tanong. Sige. But I'd like to ask Coach Floyd, so para sa inyo, syempre malayo yan, at saka tulad sinabi mo, mabigat yan syempre. Para sa inyo, ano ang goal para sa season nito, para sa Liga? Bakit kasama kayo sa Liga? At saka, further ahead, ano ang goal nyo para Pangasinan United? What do you really want to see down the road?
Ang goal namin talaga, Coach, since nung sinabi ito, yung ligang to is for parang scouting for a national team. Siyempre, we want to have a player from here na susunod kay Ricardo Padilla, which is once of the national team, goalkeeper din siya. So that's what that man is my teammate during college days. So ako yung goalkeeper niya and defender ko siya. So pangarap namin may sumunod sa kanya, Coach. And siyempre, once na pumunta tayo dito, ang goal natin dito is to develop and to help the children. Para po sa amin yun, especially sa akin po. Iba po kasi ang binigay sa akin ng sports na to. Siguro kung wala itong sports na to, hindi ako nakapagtapos. That's the reality po.
Nice. I'd love to hear a bit more about that, Coach Floyd. What's your background? Anong background mo para sa hindi din makilala sa manood? Tell us about your background with sports and futsal.
Background, simpleng tao lang po, Coach. Ano lang po, siguro pinaka main reason na lang why I'm doing this. May mga tao lang din po kasi na tumulong sa akin. And sabi sa akin, wag na raw sa kanila. Kumbaga, itulong ko na lang sa iba. If merong nangangarap na hindi natupad, kunwari ako, nangarap ako maging national team, hindi natupad eh. So, hindi naman po tayo doon hihinto. For me, kung hindi ko matutupad sa akin, baka ako po yung isang reason or pwedeng isa ako sa magiging tulay na baka yung itong batang to is nangangarap mag-national team. May skills, may talent. Kaya ko namang tulungan, bakit hindi? Parang ganoon po.
And then tulad sinabi niyo kanina, no, it's maybe there's a chance in the future. Coach Vic, Kevin, could you tell us about, hopefully there's plans, right, for how would it work with leagues in other areas to really expand this? I know this is a pilot with the women's league, and then being able to scout, because there's so many talented players in the province who come in for UAEP and for other areas. Please tell us about the plans for those developments.
Well, I can answer that, Roy. Definitely the long-term vision is that every region would have their own league. I know it's a bit challenging for some areas because of resources. It's not cheap to put up a league. You're talking about renting a venue for many places. You're talking about paying referees a decent wage for the work that they do. So definitely our goal is to have leagues like in Cebu, in Pangasinan. By the way, we had an interested club all the way from Naga who wanted to join this league. But Vic and I actually spoke to this person and said that might be better if you're going to spend a lot of resources to go back and forth all the way from Naga, which is a lot more challenging, a lot more expensive than coming from Pangasinan. Maybe you can use those funds, if you have it, to put up a league in Naga. So you can get teams around that region to be able to play. So we're hoping and encouraging through the FAs that, for example, we hope that Cebu can organize their league, Iloilo can organize a league. It really needs to be regionally based because we don't want long-term everything to just be focused in Metro Manila. Because this is development, and you're going to miss out on seeing a lot of players if you're just going to focus a league competition in this area. Coach Vic, I don't know if you have something to add to that.
Yeah. The other thing is a question, Roy, what we said already a couple of times to Coach Kevin said now in the FAs, that is the big one. But now, we have the projects in Calamba from Inspiraya already. And there are girls from Cebu and from Metro Manila and from out than outside Metro Manila. And we are doing now for the third year. It's coming now. And I tell you honestly that now on the moment, a coach from Palawang was texting me. Somebody from Cebu was texting me. And of course, Roy and Floyd and both in the show now, you know what I mean with that. Also in that area, and that is now that I'm feeling that everybody start talking now about futsal already. Not so what I want on the end. That's what Coach Kevin said. We want in every FA league, but I'm feeling already that that's going on, and I hope that Floyd can do something upstairs there and Naga downstairs. And Cebu, we have a very good contact at the moment. Davao it will running, and on the end, I hope that we can play at the national finals somewhere. Yeah, one year maybe there, the other will be maybe there. But I come also back to the problem what I have now for you for this league also, the facilities. Yesterday I was in Xavier College to watch the facility there, Aquinas in Pasig. We go everywhere to looking where we can do courses, courses, leagues, etc. But we do the same in Cebu, we do the same in Davao. And that is our big challenge at the moment, to find the right places. Teams we have enough, for sure. When it is closer at home, we have teams enough. The only thing is now the right facility. And okay, now I'm happy that you coming in all, and I have respect for the guys who's coming from far. But I hope in the future that everybody can play in their own region for a nice league, and that's what we. But that's why we are working on. And I have a feeling we're on the right track, but we need our help together. Floyd in his district, Roy, we need Naga down with the guys in Cebu, and it's going. I'm over 1-2 years for sure. And you know, I'm talking also about our men's competition. And when we have an AFC, a big problem because AFC is now canceling all women's program for international. It's crazy what they do. We have in 2025 the first time the men's competition back. Because we have time enough to prepare. And again, we can do that for sure. Together we can do that. With the girls in October, you will see we have a very good team, a fit team, everything. And from there, I hope that everybody will join and say, this is what we want in our district. And that's where Kevin and I are working very hard on that. Okay, and it opened doors. But Roy, we understand what you want to say. This is our plan.
Yeah. Speaking of competitions of the men, I see the comment from Joel Valencia. Yes, we are going to have a men's league this year. It's just a question on when we can start. So that's either going to be July or September, depending on the available venue. So we're talking the venues right now. Just stay tuned for updates. We will get in touch with you guys for that. Just standard men's league. But going back to what Vic mentioned, yes, sadly, FIFA is going to organize a Women's World Cup, but it doesn't seem like AFC is going to put together a competition anytime soon. That makes my job more challenging because if it's not in AFC, then it's not going to be a priority in PFF. But we're going to continue to push it because this is the future of the sport. We feel very strongly that in 2 to 3 years, women's futsal is going to be huge around the world, just like how women's football is growing. So we're really investing in it. We're doing it by organizing leagues like this. So yeah, Roy. I mean, ideally, just to go back to your question, what will sustain a good, strong national league or a strong top tier league like this is if you have regional leagues in place, you know. And I know it's quite challenging to do that right now because before the pandemic, the number one funder of these competitions and leagues were the LGUs. The LGUs have other priorities now with COVID, etc. So I know for some FAs, that revenue source has disappeared. You know, when they talk about LGU funding for leagues and sports programs. So I think we need a little bit more help from the private sector. But our challenge right now is that the private sector will only jump on board the ship if the sport's already big. So basketball, volleyball, etc. Football is not even a priority for many private sector companies. And we're talking about, you know, the 11-a-side game. So we'll just continue doing what we do. But I definitely encourage for all those viewers out there, put together a league and we'll try to help you do that, no? And trying to organize something. So does that answer your question, Roy?
Yeah, of course. It's good to hear. Yeah, you're right. Like the regional leagues, especially, would be good to support that. I know we floated the idea even within Metro Manila before of the Metro Manila Futsal League, where we'd have the North, Centre, and South being able to host these leagues and the champions meet. And how good would that be if you have the Pangasinan League, Iloilo, and Cebu, and the champions from each region being able to come together? It'd be great for scouting for the national team. So going back to Pangasinan, Coach Floyd, could you tell us about what the scene is there for Pangasinan, for futsal, and what's the next step, in your opinion, for development there?
Coach, sa amin sa development, meron kami kasi yung last yung sa course. Actually, yung plano doon, sinunod namin kaso nabitin lang kami sa days. So nag-put up kami ng league pero hindi siya nag-push through this month kasi ito nga na namin tong high five. So siguro after this high five, itutuloy namin yung league sa futsal. So yun siguro yung I think na magiging start namin for development, not only for our group but for the whole group dito sa Pangasinan kasi we are open naman to all eh. So siguro by nearby provinces, pwede rin naman po as long as kaya rin po nila yan. Yan, Coach.
Okay, so thank you very much, Coach Floyd, for coming on to our show and to speaking to our viewers a little bit about what Pangasinan United FC represents. I mean, you guys are definitely a model example of how to challenge your comfort zones, to be able to follow things or push things through because you guys love and care about the game. No, I was very impressed with how you guys are committed to this competition despite the logistical challenges. No, so thank you very much, Coach Floyd, and good luck with your game tomorrow versus Dr. J. No, Auto Club.
Hindi, Coach. Sa ano kami, Coach? Tondo.
Yes, Tondo. Okay. So good luck tomorrow. Tondo's a very good team. They're trying to implement a system, a culture there and how they play. So I think it'll be a good match because it will be experience versus youth, in that game. So
thank you.
Thank you, Coach Floyd. We will take a commercial break and we will go through our first highlight section, which is the Amichis. Not our first highlight sections, but our next highlight section, which is the Amichis Gusto goals of the week. So we've selected 5 goals from our highlights, and we will post that. And you viewers would get to be able to choose who is the winner. So you get to vote on who is the top goal in the Amichis Gusto goals of the week. But we'll take a look at that after this commercial break. Okay, so those are our top 5 Amici's Gusto goals of the week. So we will post that on our social media channel, which is Futsal Philippines and the Moran Foundation Facebook pages. And you guys can get to vote. So comment who you think should win, and we will announce the winner of the Amici Gusto goals of the week next episode. And in next episode, we'll also show the candidates for the matches that will be played tomorrow. So, gentlemen, thank you very much. It was a very nice time to discuss some of your insights and analysis on futsal, the games from match day 2. And also, Coach Floyd, thank you very much for sharing your story and all the sacrifices that you make for your participation in this High Five Women's Futsal League. Roy, good luck tomorrow. And we'll see who will be dancing on TikTok tomorrow. Coach Vic,
thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for allowing me to use your internet connection for this show. And Coach Floyd, good luck tomorrow. I think it's almost 1 hour away from call time, no? To be able to leave.
Hindi, okay lang, Coach. Ako pong magsusundo eh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Futsal Philippines Show. Again, follow us on Futsal Philippines Facebook page, the Moran Foundation Facebook page, for updates on futsal and the High Five Women's Futsal League. We kick off tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and our last game kicks off at 2:15. We have 4 very exciting matches. Again, if you guys don't know, let me flash on the screen the standings for the game schedule for tomorrow. So we have University of Makati versus Tuloy FC, Payatas versus GK Sipag, Dr. J Auto Club versus Azuri, and Pangasinan versus Tondo. And the standings as of today, Tuloy leads the pack, tied with Payatas FC on top of the table 1 points. Tuloy just leads on goal difference, followed by GK Sipag, Azuri, Tondo, University of Makati, Pangasinan, and Dr. J Auto Club. So we hope, Coach Floyd, that you'll be able to get some points tomorrow in your match. And guys, thank you again for being here and promoting futsal. There's a lot of work and improvement that needs to be done on the show, but slowly we're hopefully trying to get there. So thank you, guys.
Pleasure, Kevin. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
See you everyone.
And see you tomorrow.